Fire podcast, episode 14. And today I'm here with a very special guest. He's been hitting me up to be on the podcast for a minute now. Yeah. It's been, I think the last one I talked to you about being on it was actually I was here. So today I'm here with Clay Hewitt.
Yeah. It's good to see you.
Hell yeah, bro. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, working hard. How you been?
I'm good, man. Just chilling, running the camp.
It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
Hell yeah, bro. So Raggy told me about you, I think around, maybe it's got to be like a year ago now.
Right.
Because his episode was like around that time when you hit me up, because I think you might have watched that one.
Right.
Yeah, so let's talk about how you met Raggy.
Basically, he was working with a club that I frequented in Tampa. Shout out to the Pegasus Lounge, and he was doing a few events. And I had just bumped into him and saw him, and he was like, yo, I want you to sit down with Jit Camp and work with him. He does interviews and he does write-ups. So I instantly was like, yo, what's up, yo? Like, what we doing? Because at that point in time, I thought that I had something to talk about. And I guess, in letting it marinate, like, I'm glad you did, because now today we got something to talk about.
Well, back then, probably when you hit me up, my studio situation was kind of fucked up. Right. But now we're here. We're at Bottomville, so shit's better than it's ever been. You know how we rocking. So, are you you said we're running around in the Tampa scene and all that? Are you originally from here, or where's let's talk about more your roots and stuff?
Yeah, originally I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York.
Okay.
And 19 in the year, the music was beautiful. Like let's talk about the era of 1985 when hip hop was created in the Bronx, New York. So being born in that era, it was more or less music. I felt like music found me, because I really had shit growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like most kids, growing up, music basically was the forefront, some of what you would talk about to be as the mothers and the fathers to our generation, a lot of us. So
yeah, I get what you're saying. Coming
from the Bronx, New York, it was hard growing up, same single mother, growing up. I had a brother, my dad had other children and stuff like that I ain't really associate with, because he ain't tell them about it, this side, so shit was crazy growing up. But yeah, from the Bronx, New York, but it's not where you from, it's where you at. So shout out to the 352 Spring Hill, 813, and shout out to California, because we basically took from what we learned growing up in the Bronx and applied it to music as a whole. But my sound is so diverse. I got to shout out Florida, I got to shout out LA, and I got to shout out New York. So my sound is flavorful, and those are probably the sounds of seasoning that you're gonna see in my music.
Hell yeah, bro. So let's talk about it, man. Everybody wants to know about it. You've been working towards the Guinness Book of World Records for the most albums and music released online, correct?
Yeah. So what we wanted was we wanted the world record for the most music released in the country, and that was 33 albums with Lil Wayne and his mixtape series that he released. And we stopped counting at that, and I decided to just chase what I thought would be something legendary, and that is this Guinness Book of World Record title that I'm working toward, and have officially set with 100 albums of music on all streaming platforms.
Hell yeah, bro. So how did you go about recording each album? Was it just I'm gonna lock in and do this? This is what I'm feeling right now, so we're gonna do that, or was it just all right, we're doing it this way? Let's talk about some of the albums and how the sound varies, because that's a lot of music, you know what I mean? Especially in that short period of time.
Right. So I'm not gonna sit here and say and then try to front on anybody and tell you that I dropped all 100 albums in the year of 2022. I'm gonna say that I was ready for the ball drop 2022, and that was that I had prepared secretly behind closed doors, telling everybody, yo, I got this world record, and here I am telling everybody about it and not showing anybody, so it was more like a myth than anything until I peeled back the curtain, like some type of Wizard of Oz shit, and told somebody, look, I'm done. we can actually get online and talk about this and like, be like, no, wait, look, we see what's going on with the music industry, but what about that kid that just dropped 100 albums? And today, since I gave the world record to the world, you know what I'm saying, to date, there's so much more sitting that I'd like to unleash. I'd like to give the world 2 new world records today before I get off this podcast, because on my bio, in my link in my bio on Instagram, if you're paying attention and you went to pay attention to that and you actually read through it, the last 2 things that I give the world record, the people, is 2 new world records. So I secretly hit it on the link in my bio on my Instagram for anybody that's paying attention.
Hell yeah. Is it the music video one? Is that one of them? Or is that a whole nother record?
No, so here's what I want to do. So if we could just go left field for a second. You got your phone on you?
Yeah.
All right, so I just want you to pull up, my Instagram.
Okay.
And basically what we're going to do is, if anybody watching, because I'm on live and I'm going to release this as well. The link in my bio on my Instagram is Clay_Huete, CLAY HUETE, just with an underscore in between both.
It just says the one for the most released music online, and then you go to the drum thing.
Okay, so you go to my link in my bio on my Instagram, and there should be something I've created for you. Are you reading that right now? Is it the Welcome to the Other Side?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, so scroll all the way down so you can't get to, you can't go any further. I secretly left 2 world records for the world to find.
Oh shit, a gift for fans for me. Okay.
Yeah. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to click that and it's going to tell you to download datpiff.com. Mind you, DatPiff is a free app. Once you do that, then you go back to the link in my bio and click that, and it's going to bring you to what you're going to find. And those are 2 links. And I would like to, I'd like you personally to find out what those 2 gifts are and tell the people when you can. Because what's going to happen here is that's when you start talking about something serious. Like, that's when you talk about something really serious. So after Clay just released 100 albums, what gifts did Clay give to the fans on album 199? I gave you 2 albums that...
Oh, I know about that already. The song, it's got, one of them has like 500 songs and the other one has 1,000 songs.
Yeah, one of them got 225. One of them's got 500.
Hell yeah, bro.
So if you pull up, just pull up go to your search engine and type in SOLIVE on DatPiff.
The Radio Ready Volume 3.
Search for the I Am the Revolution album.
Bronx Baby.
No. I Am the Revolution. Just type in So Live. Let me see it. And I'll show you the CD cover. It's a lot to go through.
Yeah, I couldn't get it, man.
I got you. So what we're going to do right there, look. I Am the Revolution.
Oh, hell yeah.
So scroll down and tell the podcast how many songs are on this one album.
My dog's got 500 songs on one album, bro. What the hell?
Yeah.
So that's a world record too? What's the song? Who held the song record before that?
No one. This is just something that I gifted the world that I want to start to talk about.
Oh.
With these new world records that I have back in the 100 albums and the 400 videos on YouTube.
Oh, hell yeah. So how did you know about, are the videos, they go with the songs and shit on the albums?
Yeah, most definitely.
Hell yeah.
So if you download YouTube Music, this is where you gain access to the 100 albums of music secretly hidden on YouTube. So YouTube will not give you access to this content. YouTube Music will. And YouTube will give you access to the music videos.
Oh, true. So, why is it hidden? Because the algorithm or something?
It's hidden because I feel like, I mean, let's be real. If there's a world record so big, there's so much to talk about, why isn't anybody talking about it? Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Maybe because nobody's done it yet.
Exactly. So I basically am unleashing this world record since we just finished the State of Florida versus Clay Hewitt. I told myself I'm going to get on every single podcast, interview, and I'm going to talk about this world record because I think that I have something to talk about. I think that no one in hip hop history has ever recorded this much content and ever produced or engineered all of this, because I mixed it, I mastered all of this music. I didn't have help with this. I did it myself.
You made all the beats and everything too?
We created we created everything from scratch and pulled like so what we do is I can't get a sauce to what we do.
You have like a team. You have like a team.
Yeah, we have a team. I got there's some of the homies. Shout out to the Graveyard Boys, DJ Super. Shout out to Twan, Deuce. Shout out to Sean. All the homies that's, you know what I'm saying, just dedicated and to the push of this music. Shout out to my daughter and my mother, like the design of like my push is my family, like my roots of where I'm from and like how I take care of my family. So it's more or less like it's a conglomerate of people and we're a collective. You know, shout out Street Jerky, shout out to Pressure, shout out to, you know, Red Eye, some of the homies that are just doing their thing on that side. But yeah, it's a collective.
Hell yeah.
It's the Graveyard.
So let's talk about how you dove into the metaverse. Did that kind of go along with the world record and stuff, or?
When we dove into the metaverse, I figured that I can get the fans to. I don't know that I'm trying to understand from the fans' point of view how they can want to listen to my music. So that's what I started to think about. How can my fan, like, why would my fans or why would regular people, individuals like yourself and everybody else, want to listen to my music as a whole? So I started to tell people, look, if you want to listen to my music, I want to pay you. And all you got to do is invest $20. And I'm going to pay you off of the albums that I put on your platform to distribute my music. And slowly but surely, I beta tested that theory. And I got 2 artists signed to the label that, you know, secretly drop music when they want. And this artist, the money that's created when you're listening to that music is helping a person that, you know, will leave nameless, you know, or one of my family members that is making money and generating that money in my sleep. So making money passively in my sleep was the idea, and making it off my music was the promise to my family and my friends.
True that. So do you have your own like coin that gets like distributed to the holders? Is that how they're getting like getting paid off of it, or?
So basically, no, we don't. We haven't. I haven't tokenized the albums yet because what I want to do with the tokenization is create my tokenization process. But I want to be able to open certain things for children and do certain things that wouldn't necessarily be given out by schools or counselors, teachers. I want to open them a digital wallet and invest Bitcoin or Ethereum or some type of coin that is not my coin, because I want to teach them that they can have their own coin, but you're gonna need either Bitcoin or Ethereum to even transfer it over and make your own coin. You understand? You have to add value to your coin first. So they need to know what to do with that as a whole, because a lot of them won't understand the process. But we're in the formulation of a new generation. So being the generation changer that I stand on, I just figured that with the team and people that I've rocked with in the past and I've learned from, I just feel like the knowledge that I feel like I have to help society with what I know.
Oh no, yeah, that's cool, man. Like my homie has his own coin and shit. I think it's a really dope thing.
Right. So I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's called Gray. Shout out to Robert Gallardo. Gray coin.
Dope. So not to cut you off, but don't get me wrong. We do have some NFTs.
Yeah, let's talk about the NFTs on OpenSea. You sent me the link.
Yeah. So we have Monsters Under Your Bed, which are like these creative NFTs that we created to actually invest into the creation of these storylines as what I've already created in the music. If you go search War Boy or Lord Boy, and to create these characters as like cartoon figures, comic books, and things of that nature, maybe like 3D art with the 3D printer like homie was doing, but to create something that can be given back to the fans every time something drops. So if if a song drops, you get a new character, you know, sent to you. If you're,
it's like an airdrop.
Yes, like actually just mailed to you. Like I want you to get the like we stopped physical copies, and I felt like that was big for the fan, and we stopped that because we're in the MP3 era, and I got it on my phone. I don't want you to have it on your phone. I want you to have a poster in your room somewhere, or a 3D action figure of what we're doing, or some type of jewelry, you know, that can something different. That's not the same as everybody else, because if you're not setting yourself apart from what everybody else is doing, you're not original. So I just tried to be original with what I was doing.
Hell yeah. How do you feel about the crash of all this stuff going on right now? I mean, I think it's just like for right now. Eventually, it'll go back up.
I believe that in every mountain that we climb, there's every ups that we're gonna go through, and there's downs. So when the going is good, make sure you get it, but don't be mad when you fall. Like if you're willing to take the risk, you have to be willing to take the plunge.
Hell yeah. So how do you have you been like tapped into the Tampa Bay scene?
Yes. So I've been doing a lot of we've been going to.
Because I know you said you're mainly based out of like Spring Hill, right? Okay.
Yeah. So we've been back and forth from Spring Hill to there's Largo, Florida. There's Clearwater, Florida. There's, I mean, we've shut down plenty of cities in Florida and got video footage to prove. But we haven't released that footage and that content because we felt like it wasn't ready for that. What we're doing is, when we have these albums, we're turning it. We're going backwards. We're gonna take it to the first album. We're gonna drop that. Then we're gonna drop that city. Oh, where was Clay? In St. Pete, Florida. He performed out here. Yeah, like probably 4 years ago. Like there's like footage of these shows. So basically, we started going to every city we could, open mics, kava bars, and just to promote the message and the music. But we took to LA for a 2-year time span and went hard in LA and learned a few things. Shout out to Big No Name and Financial Records, Dizzle Ja, J.R. Mills, and all the bros on the West Coast. But just learned a lot from them musically, and then my for fun homies, they have like a medical marijuana, like it's like an Airbnb. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, that's cool, man. We need to get that shit here, man.
But you know what's crazy is that being around my friends, like you learn from your friends, and if it's not stealing if you go and do it, you know, like they do it, and if it becomes bigger or how you do it, they inspired you. So I have to graduate and say that, you know what I'm saying, I've been inspired by most of my friends. So if you see something that you guys have taught me, shout out to Hood Chef and Kited and MIDI and everything that the homies up the top are doing, I've learned from my homies and learned to study game and really be just a player on the court until I was ready to like, okay, yeah, let's go Kobe Bryant some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. So when you were out in LA, is that how you got really tapped into like I guess you would say the ZA industry?
The ZA industry, good. I mean, great point. Like, that is, yeah, yes and no, because they it was already ZA for me when I went before. Like I was kind of like anticipating to get off the plane and being like, where were we going? Like, but I knew there were spots that I was hitting. I already knew that I had a tour. I want to talk about shout out to Be My Rob. This was just basically an individual who saw me what I was doing out here, and this is all going to be tapped into everything. Maybe I'll send you the link to when we're having this interview with B. Mike Rob, and I ended up getting a shoe deal. Crazy. Went to LA and was working with some kids. Shout out to Silento, free Silento. I don't know if he's still locked up, but I don't know if you ever remember some of that Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nene.
Yeah.
Okay, so Silento, I took off to LA and I was working with Silento and B. Mike Rob, and I was behind the scenes video shoots and stuff like that, and me and him were supposed to work on some music, and something happened with his situation that I'm not really want to talk about, but B. Mike Rob ended up bringing me to LA and being like, look, when you get here, just tap in, like understand that the people want to see what you're doing, because at that point in time I was doing something called the Act of Kindness Challenge, and I would really like to draw attention to that, which was I was releasing video content of me taking my daughter to Busch Gardens every single weekend in Tampa, and I'm gonna be seeing a lot of homeless children on the way there, and something inspired me, like literally just to go hard all year. And I created with my daughter every day, every Friday night we would go to Publix or go to like Walmart and buy like massive amounts of bread and peanut butter and jelly, and we'd make the sandwiches and put them back into the loaves of bread, and I'd go to these homeless shelters and teach my daughter, look, all the toys that you don't want, put in your a box. We're gonna go give them to children that are in need. You know what I mean? Like, so we pull up and like I cook soup and stuff like that. And I started this thing called the Act of Kindness. And the Act of Kindness was basically me just literally creating 5,000 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the homeless. And B Mike Rob was like, bro, you're really doing this. Like, I see footage. I want you to come to LA and I want you to get on my radio station. So I got a daughter, so I couldn't take my daughter with me. So I went on tour for 2 years and I seen my daughter. And that shit killed me because it was like, you're behind your family. And my mom's is like living, she had cancer. So she was dealing with a lot herself, you know what I mean? And just as a whole, like going on tour was like fucking with me, imagine being away from your family, not knowing anybody, getting off a place you don't know nobody. You know what I'm saying? You know one of your homies and he's like, yo, come live in this garage. I got a garage for you, bro, and a couch. And I'm telling you, I'm be real, like, you know how like them little TikTok videos be like, yo, show me when you're at your lowest. And I'll show you when I'm at my lowest. I was living on Skid Row, and because I ain't know nobody. So like for the first 7 days in LA, I stood on Skid Row. And if you know Skid Row or if you know anything about it, like Skid Row ain't no joke. Like you can Google that shit. Like people go there and they don't come home. So Skid Row is just a place that I saw like the homeless were living in, just a really impoverished like community that really needed help. So it was crazy, bro. Like I had gotten like some shit stolen out of like where I was living up against like a Starbucks like area to sleep in. Like I had my bag stolen, all type of shit. Like literally everything except for a jump drive with my music. That's like this small. That was like 28 gigs. But I met this kid and I had a management team out there that brought me out there, and he was like, bro, look, you can stay in my garage and like you can work on the music. So for a little bit of time, I had told my mom I was going to work at this place called Crater Lake, Oregon. So I knew one kid in LA, and I go to work on a volcano. I don't know if you ever heard of Crater Lake National Park. Okay, so Crater Lake National Park is a volcano that filled up with water. Okay, my brother's like, bro, I got you a job. We going out there. I got you, bro. It's gonna be the dopest shit you ever seen. Bro, my mom, I don't know how my mom and my brother convinced me to go on this shit. Like, I'm on a plane now, and I'm going to Oregon, right? My brother's like, you ready for this shit? You ready for this shit? Now, mind you, my brother's not on the plane with me, bro. He's already there.
Oh, okay.
So I got you, bro. I don't look up a job. I don't say anything about it. I just get on the plane like, yo, what? I'm gonna make $20 an hour. I'm like, I'm good. I'm gone. I don't care what it is, bro. I'm talking about like we get off the plane, and like, there's nobody there, bro. Like the plane take off. I mean, as fast as it landed, it took the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Like 4 or 5 people got on. They took. So I'm out there waiting. I see the little kid come out of nowhere. Hey, bro, I'm supposed to be taking you to Crater Lake. All right. Never met the kid. Jump in the car. We drive, bro. I'm talking about like we drive, bro. Like I thought I was going to like I wasn't coming back where I was going. Like that's how far we was driving. So he's like, all right, we're here. And we get to the edge of the mountain, and he tells me, he's like, you don't got any drugs on you, right? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, that's federal. And I'm like, all right, bro. No, bro. It's Cameron, Florida, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? But I guess I didn't know that way it's legal with weed. And up the mountain, you'll get your ass taken by the federal boys if you get caught with any type of weed on the mountain. So I didn't understand that. We'll get to that point later. We on the mountain. We go into up the mountain. My brother is like, hey, you here? I'm like, yeah. Where the fuck are you? He said, oh, bro, come up the mountain. I'm like, bro, what you mean come up the mountain? I thought we was here. He said, no, you're down at the bottom of the mountain. Come up the mountain.
Oh, damn.
Bro, we drive, we get to the top of the mountain. And like, he's like, where you at? I'm like, bro, I'm at the top of the mountain. He's like, nah, no, you're not. Come up, keep coming. So we keep going. So I finally get to the top of the mountain, right? And I'm literally, bro, you can see the water in the top of the volcano. Like, you're at the top.
Bubbling up.
Bro, you can see it's like there's a little island in the middle of the water of the like it's a volcano. I was at the tip of the volcano looking in the water, like,
oh wow,
like at the house was maybe like 3 miles. They had a hotel at the top of the mountain that you can look down. It's like a little monument.
Oh, like a resort kind of.
Exactly, but nobody told me that it was a volcano until they told me that there was an evacuation process 2 months into the retreat that I was there, that the volcano was on fire. My brother said, hey, the volcano's on fire, we getting evacuated. But we can't go down because where the pathway is burning.
Oh, damn.
So now we're stuck on the mountain, bro. He tells me 2 months into this shit. I ended up getting in trouble and coming off the mountain, but however I got in trouble, whatever the case, I was throwing parties off the mountain, and the feds came and they was like, look, if you don't get the fuck out of here, we're going to put you somewhere where you can't Get the fuck out of here. So me and my brother was like, look, you gotta get out of here. So I left the mountain, and shout out to Crater Lake and Rim Dorm, all the homies back there, because we ended up shooting a music video. No bullshit. And I'm gonna put this on. I really waited for the longest time so we can talk about this shit, because I shot a music video on the tip of a Crater Lake National Park, and that shit is not allowed. Okay, like the fuck out of here. That's not allowed. Like you can't do that shit. So they come in, they tell me at my dorm, like, get out of here. You gotta get off the mountain. You got 2 hours. We go up to the top of the mountain. We shoot the video. I get off the mountain. I call my mom. I'm like, yo, I'm coming home. And she's like, okay. My mom goes with my daughter to the airport. I leave my mom's and my daughter at the airport for 2 years. And I chase this music shit. And I mean, communicating with my mom and, like, you know, sending money home and, like, trying to do as much as I could. I ended up on Skid Row the first 7 days that I got off the mountain, and ran into my homeboy, tapped into like a garage that I could create some music, learn cryptocurrency from my homie Sean, one of the roommates, and from there I just became a glutton of the music industry in LA, which I fell in love with the shit because I get to talk about it with you. I went on tour and he was a pit cameraman, front row, for Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm actually in the Beano featuring Nipsey Hussle Clarity video. You can actually see me in that video. I was on tour with one of the homies that was on tour with Lil Peep. So we was on tour in the pit with Lil Peep before he passed, and we have footage of this. So footage of the Nipsey Hussle like memorial that they had out there before he passed, and just like I did some really dope shit when I was out there, and I never got to talk about it and release it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But we're gonna release it now that I'm here, and I get to talk about it to the fans because I never drew attention to it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you sitting on this shit, and all your homies died. Like you sitting there watching like Lil Peep become Lil Peep. You know, he's singing Witchblades. You know what I'm saying? He's on tour with Mac Ned and GBC. And
Lil Tracy and all
yeah,
that.
Yeah, bro. When I show you the video, I interviewed Lil Tracy that night. I sent you the video, bro. I sent you not. When I sent it to you on my life. Shout out to Lil Tracy, bro. And the whole,
I fuck with Lil Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy's heavy, bro. And shout out to Nip and the whole Marathon Continues camp.
Hell
and,
yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah, man. Just to name a few. Even X. We had some tour footage with X when he was on tour as well. Right around the time all the stuff happened with Rob Stone and all that stuff. So.
Oh yeah.
So it was heavy out there. You know what I'm saying? Like it was intense. And I remember Ski Mask being one of the performers that was supposed to come out in Santa Ana, and that happened with, you know, the fight happened previous, and Lil Peep got booked. So that's how we ran into Lil Peep, and I actually got the vibe of Lil Peep and GBC and all the camp that they were, you know what I'm saying, how they were performing to the crowd. So, and learning how, you know, the South moves, the North moves, and then you go to the West and you see how the West moves with the fan base and the people, the culture. So it was just really dope to get it as a whole and put it into my music and be able to release it.
Hell yeah. So how do you feel about the Florida scene then? You told us about the LA scene.
Bro,
let's talk about the Florida scene.
I think Florida is so amazing because I'm gonna give you the rawest form why. I love Florida. I love Florida and Florida music. I don't care what kind of music you're doing. If you're in Florida, you're doing music. I love it because you're not afraid to be yourself. Mm-hmm. And Florida is just not afraid to be themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like in any way, shape, or form. Like I swear to you, I've gone and I've seen dope footage. You know what I'm saying? Of people just being themselves. And I think that's the most beautiful form of life is when you can tap into a human being and they're who they are, and you can see that. You know. So I think Florida is amazing for their embrace of the culture, and they're not afraid to be themselves. There's a lot of people in the industry, let's be real, they're afraid to be themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like they just somebody else, and you could read it and see it, like, you know.
So you've talked about you performed at some like a bunch of different venues and stuff. Well, let's talk about that one venue you were telling me about. You performed with Bonfire Podcast alumni DJ Donnie Love. Let's talk about that shit.
Yeah. Shout out to DJ Donnie Love, man. Like, Donnie Love was a DJ at an event called Smoking Words that my homie Bando brought me into with Nova, the Nymph, and the homie Bar God. Shout out to the team over there. They hold it down, and then DJ Don Rock was like on the stage, and I had seen other posts of her, you know what I'm saying, doing the thing, and I supported the first time when I found out she was a DJ, but never got to work side by side. So when I got on stage and we rocked a couple shows, a couple weeks back to back, it just became like kind of like an artist DJ relationship. Like when I saw her, like, yo, it's love tonight. Like, you doing what you do, I do what I do. Like she turn me up, and I'm gonna turn the crowd up. And she always knew where to take the beat out, where to, like, you know what I'm saying. So it was a good feel to have a DJ behind you that knew what they were doing. You know?
Oh yeah, DJ Donnie Love, man, she's killing it. Birthday 2022, man. I want to see you there, bro.
Yeah, that part.
You gotta pull up, man.
Yeah.
Jit on the scene, Jit cam ready.
That part. Most definitely.
So you said Graveyard Boys. Is that the like the brand that you're selling? You're doing the ZA stuff in, or
I mean,
not necessarily, or is it all of the above?
So I'm just gonna be honest. Like we took off to LA, and we started to learn the LA scene. You know, like learn the cannabis culture, and ran into a really dope group of people. Shout out to the For Fun crew. Make sure you add that. Make sure you put on the thing for fun, and it's FOR. It's four. It's the word for fun. Shout out to Hood Chef. Just basically put me on game, bro. Like I went to LA and I got there. I ain't gonna front like and say it was like. And I got there, the homies I was rocking with, I was supposed to work for this homie. Like it was supposed to do some work, and like I ain't gonna say no names, but like the homie was like capping, and I told the homie, I was like, yo, bro, he never just brought me around, and he's like, bro, you bullshit. You're supposed to come to the house and like the video footage, the content, and at that point in time, like content wasn't what it is now. It was just gearing into what it is now. So I didn't fall out with him, but he was like, look, you just got to go hard. Like I'm gonna show you the game and bring you around people, but. So on and so forth, I started just going hard and doing what I do, like outside of the funhouse, and just going to events and promoting myself. And we went to a place called Friday Night Sesh. Shout out to the 420 Nurses. I don't know if you know who they are, but you know what I'm saying, you should at them and post that. The 420 Nurses are really dope.
Is it in California? Or
Yeah,
is it
it's in California.
True.
That 420 Nurses is 420 Nurses California chapter, which is like, I think it's like a group of like 400 or 500 girls. You know what I mean? They started off by two twins that married my homie. Like they literally two chicks that they're twins. They married my homie. So it was really cool to see that what they did with just the cannabis culture and their whole movement. They started throwing this thing called Friday Night Sesh at just like an unknown location. You know, we don't give it up, but it's legal out there. So to talk about it, it's nothing to tag them and shit of that culture, but shit of that nature. I just figured that I would plug all of that because like we went on tour, we touched down in the cannabis industry with the Pop Brothers at Law. Ended up doing the Shut the Fuck Up song, and just learned the game, like the promotional game. After that, they were like, look, I want to interview you. I want to see you in Vegas. I went out to Vegas and I ended up performing out there, from LA to Vegas, and just so on and so forth. So the cannabis culture became a definite like a niche almost. You know, because I wanted to help children that that were having seizures be able to eat a medical marijuana gummy bear rather than smoke weed, so that they didn't damage their lungs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I was trying to build something that I didn't really have the funds for, but in being on tour for 2 years and doing all these interviews and learning all of this, I ended up coming home, taking care of my moms a little bit more, and then just telling her, listen, I'm not done. Like I was good going to LA, but now it's time to fuck up home base. Like it's time to show them what I did. Like it's time to like post these videos, get on social media, and be the person that I was out there, and show them that wait, Live went out there for touring. And he like shut down, and I went on tour like, and let's not take away from where we was touring. I was touring in the hood. Like it's not like, oh, he just went to Hollywood. Yeah, we went to Hollywood, and from Hollywood to Inglewood, you know what I'm saying, and all the way in between. And I'm gonna say it like that because there's a lot of places you can go in LA that you need people's permission. And when I went there, like, no names, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my homie, you know what I'm saying? But no names. He would just say, look, you want to come to the studio and work even harder. So for a long period of time, I was living in the studio in Inglewood. Okay, and he brought me in and he ain't charging no rent. He said, look, you're going to use your studio and get your life together. And I just started recording massively, bro. So from the garage to the time I got there, to being on the volcano for 3 or 4 months, just fucking bugged out. I put a recording studio in my bedroom. It was kind of the za then, because I went to Oregon. Oregon is legal. I don't know if you know that, but Oregon is massively legal. So you come up the mountain and you're allowed to smoke if you go this way. If you go this way, it's illegal, and if you go up the mountain, it's illegal. So we go down the mountain, and I throw pop parties down the mountain, but at a hotel. You know, we all go all to the venue, to the weed spot, grab the weed there, and then just go to like bonfire and smoke. And bro, I got videos. It's crazy because bro, I gotta send you this footage so you can understand. Like, no, Clay really was there. Like he sent me. Like, I see him. Bro, I was down in the gorge. Like, you understand, the fucking rock walls up above your head, and we're climbing down into the gorge just to burn a blunt. Now I can't give up the location, but if you put it together, if we're on a volcano or we're not supposed to be on a volcano smoking or anything like that, you know, like I'm not giving up no locations of where the fuck we was, but
I get what you're saying.
We was just doing some crazy shit for the music videos for the culture, and I really want to show the world what I've been doing, because like in doing it, I lost family members and like haven't been able to spend time with family members. So what I'm trying to get off right now is basically like it's up. There's 100 albums. I challenge the fans to the Clay Huete Challenge, and that's the type. My name is on all streaming platforms. It's time
Type
to
it
go
in,
up.
Clay Huete Challenge.
Yeah.
You heard it first on Jit Camp.
Yeah.
So since you've been in the scene and shit, is there anybody you really want to collab with? I've checked out some of your music. It doesn't seem like you have very many collabs, but possibly in the new record you're looking forward to, or even booming up the record that you hold now. What are some artists you might want to tap in with or collab with that you really are fucking with in the Tampa Bay area?
So I'm not gonna say that we don't have a collective of group of people that do music, but I'm trying to start almost like a feature college, you know, to educate artists that when I do a feature, like it can't be, you know, oh, my homie's doing a feature with me, you know, like I'm getting a bag for my work. And just respectfully speaking, like when I walk in the room, I've worked so hard that I don't have to introduce myself, and that's not me being over the top. That's me being humble and saying that I want to teach you that with this feature that I'm going to do with you, I'd like you to have your paperwork, your BMI, your ASCAP ready, and your numbers to be right, because if we go to a label and we do it any other way, your numbers won't be collected and your points won't be added up. Mine will. And if you understand what that means, then you understand where I'm going with it, which is there's a certain amount of points you get on a record. You know, every record is points. It's a point system. And if your paperwork isn't right, you don't get any points for that. So you can get a feature, but you'll pay the price for it. The reason why you're paying the price is because you get the points for it. And if you understand what the point system is with the label, the more points you have on the board with featured artists, the more net worth your network is.
I got you. So that's why people always try to get like hella features sometimes.
I mean, you think about it, because they either focus on the bag or they're focused for the points. I mean, be real, you can focus on the bag, but the bag's really not important until you have over, you know, X amount of points. Because then you can say, oh, yeah, I want, your feature price goes up. You know, when you have that many points, when you get 2 platinum plaques on the wall, your price ain't $100 because your homeboy's rapping on your feature. You know?
I got what you're saying.
Your price should be $100,000 if you're really doing it for the points.
Mm-hmm.
Put the bag, I'm going to make them put their money where their mouth is, because I'm going to tell them something. I'm going to give them something on the record. I'm going to make sure it's a dope record. And every record that I'm creating, I feel like is a hit record. That's just the way I'm at, personally. And I'm a fan of myself, and that took a long time, because I was a fan of not loving myself for a long time, and depression, anxiety, and all that shit like took over with the music. But in channeling with music, I was eligible to literally look at myself in the mirror and study myself and be able to coach myself out of those type of things, and use it to catapult my musical career to maybe intellectualize or be vulnerable with a person when they listen, because a lot of people won't talk about their vulnerabilities, you know. So just trying to make the music as much compatible with the fan and the listener, so that they can listen to it and have something involved in the core of what we're doing.
So the music that you have on there, like I've seen you have like the fan fiction series and a couple other series where you have like characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Does it all come together, or is it just like this is this kind of like Kind of like how Marvel has its like Marvel universe. Like this is this story, and then
It
this
all,
is this story.
bro. I swear, it all comes together on the Untold Stories of Clay Hewitt. So let's start there. Untold Stories of Clay Hewitt. The first song is, you'll hear the artist so live, which is the mantra that we have the 100 albums secretly. You know.
Oh, would you have me look up at the beginning of the episode? I got you.
We'll do this after, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah. So we have this mantra of music that we want people to listen to under the name of Clay Hewitt, but we put these songs off of people that are not that are not like I would say not relating to the world record itself, but just relating to the people, so that we can get them involved with the music, to be like on board with it, because you can't force a fan to listen to music. You just got to give good music. So we gave them a series of music that maybe we could give you like a title that you fuck with, because like a lot of people will go off of CD cover art and a title. They never listen to you. If I tell me I listen to 100 albums, and be like, what are you talking about? I listen to like 5 songs from every artist. You give them 100 albums, they're be like, I ain't listen to that shit.
Well, that's what I was doing. I was just picking like, oh, okay, he's got an NFT song. Let me check that out. All right, this one's called Gelato Gang. Let me check this out. Oh, Gelato. All right, this one's like the fan fiction. Let me see what that. There's like 7 of them. Let me see what that's about.
Right. So in the series of albums that we gave, I chose to maybe get the fan involved by going back to what I was saying, the Untold Stories of Clay Hewitt, where Clay Hewitt kills the idea of Soul Live being alive. So you actually listen to Soul Live dying on track 1 and giving birth to what Clay Hewitt was from the time that we left for the tour for 2 years. So it all comes together. It just depends how far you go back to listen. And we haven't released that name and that world record yet. So it's like we're feeding the fan, we're baiting them into what's coming. But there's so much more coming.
Crazy, bro.
You know what I mean? Like there's so much more coming, because we already have that artist created, and he has his world record. So it's basically finding the fan, giving them a few of the songs, and then letting them find the world record. Like, wait, what? And then putting it together like you did. I like this and I like this. It's not force feeding you, but it's telling you, look, I know you've been listening to all of this content. What if I gave you this? Would you bother listening? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then when you find something that you love or you like, and it catches fire, you know? So I just waiting to catch fire like the bonfire. You know what I mean?
Bonfire.
Shout out to the bonfire.
The merch brand, what do you got coming next with that?
T-shirts, hoodies.
Where can they pick all this stuff up at?
I mean, I'm thinking of building a website and sending it direct. I'll send you some pictures of the sneakers.
The sneakers you were telling me about? Hell yeah.
We got the Graveyard Boy sneakers already finished. Those are we actually have physical copies, so it's really dope. There's a few people wearing those as well. Hoodies, like ripped jeans, as well. Like shorts to the hoodies and everything in between. Like just our own brand for merch, as well as the 420 community.
So what do you want fans to know that you got coming with next? Is it another album, or is it more to focus on kind of catch up on stuff?
Nah, the albums, y'all guys will never catch up on the albums. I think the world's going to be asleep forever. I think it's gonna take more of like you and like 30 of your friends to actually say, wait a minute, did you listen to this album? Yeah, listen. Did you listen to this one? It's gonna be like that, because you're gonna need friends to help you listen to this. That's how much music there is. There's just so much content, and you have to download YouTube Music. Make sure you download YouTube Music. You search Clay Hewitt. That's when you'll find the music. What I want to focus on is when you search the Revolutionary TV page. Revolutionary TV page, you'll find 400 plus music videos and content that is literally what is soon to be sold to Netflix as the Netflix docuseries. So maybe everybody sitting home watching Netflix should get on my YouTube page and type in Revolutionary TV and just look at what is to come.
Don't sleep on that shit.
It's a new world record, man. So I'm just gonna tell it like this on the podcast tonight. I told you, I gave you a new world record for you to go tell the people. It's YouTube. Type in Revolutionary TV. There's a new YouTube series on it. of a kid chasing a world record with 100+ albums, and it's ready for Netflix. You know, Netflix just ain't bid right. You know, we want that ticket so we can come back to the city and actually do like a reality TV show. You know, so.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all here for it.
Most def.
So you can find all Clay's work at Clay_Hewitt on Instagram. You can find all my stuff on at JitCamp727 and on JitCamp.com, where a Jit can be a Jit.
Most def.